How do you remain hopeful in a world of uncertainty? You've heard the saying, to prepare this, you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to have this by this age, you have to do this by that age, you have to accomplish this. If you are not this, then you don't fit in. You have to speak a certain way. How do you get all that together? How do you even build a life in a world where everything changes? Where every week there's a new update of something new, something different. And then the skills you learned 5 years ago is completely obsolete. How do you survive life that way? Today, we're going to talk about eternal perspective, living with hope in an uncertain time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Proverbial Mind podcast. It is your host again, Samuel. And today we are going to dive into what it means to live from an eternal perspective. Now, when you hear the word eternal perspective, what comes to your mind? Well, the word eternal already gives a hint that it is something big, something grand. It's not a laser-focused perspective on a particular subject. The word eternal here refers to something infinite, something without bound. So, what is it now that we are trying to address? The world today is changing at a rapid pace, especially with the development and the improvement of artificial intelligence. It almost seemed like as if going to college to get a degree for 5 years in certain areas is pointless and a waste of time. And it feels like every day there is always something new that you have to learn. There's a new skills that you have to learn. And you find a lot of people full of anxiety, worry, stress, depression, feeling lost, feeling behind, feeling like you don't belong in the society or community anymore. So how do you address that? Society historically has built social standards at which people must live by. They say marry at this age. When you get out of college, whatsoever, you got to get a job, you got to marry, you got to build your family, you got to buy your house, you got to do this and that. And then if you have not achieved certain things at a certain time or age, you're considered a failure, or you don't fit in, or if you don't drive certain amount of car, or if you don't succeed in certain things, then you're a failure whatsoever. All of these are worldly perspective. These are metrics. These are standards that are imposed by collective bargaining of humans over the course of civilization on themselves, putting unnecessarily pressure on themselves, especially the young people. But what does the Bible tell us about this? Now, if you're like me, I find myself that when I plan something and it doesn't go according to my plan, I at first get frustrated. I at first get disoriented and really stressed until I then take a step back and think over the whole thing and try to re-strategize or recognize if it's even within my control or not before I finally find rest. So, how then do you live when everything is uncertain? You graduate from college today, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a job, or at least not immediately. You get married to somebody, there is no guarantee that you and that person are going to be together forever because you don't know. Maybe they might just be in there for the money or whatever, or maybe something might just happen and the marriage gets, you know, the marriage breaks down and two of you go separate ways. And if you've ever heard the stories of divorce, they hurt really bad. It's not fun experience. Or you work all your life for a dream job and then you finally get the job and then you get all of a sudden, out of the blue, get fired. Or you're driving down the road with a new car you've worked all your life to buy, and all of a sudden you run into an accident and that car is gone. The theme behind all this is that the truth is, no matter how much society want to tell you to do this, to do that, to plan, to do whatsoever, you really cannot, for a fact, 100% predict your life because you're not God. You don't know beyond today. The only factual thing you know is what is happening right now, wherever you are. But what is going to happen in the next 5 minutes, the next 1 hour, you don't know for a fact. Yes, you might plan, but something else might come up and it might not be so. So now, if we know that no matter how much we plan, strategize, or try to address situation, there is a high possibility that things will still not go according to plan. So why even bother in the first place to plan, right? I mean, what's the point? Probably would not even go right. Just live life however it comes. No, the Bible doesn't teach us that either. The Bible encourages planning, but most times where we fail is that we misunderstand that planning with control. And so we plan every single tiny bit of detail of our life, most times influenced by perspectives of others and metrics of society, sometimes not even what we really desire. Sometimes we think we desire it, but we've just been influenced by the social circle. And then you get disappointed. And then some people have what you call the midlife crisis. Or go nuts because things doesn't go according to plan. So now we've rambled on how things cannot go according to plan sometimes, and the danger of trying to plan your life point to point. What is then the other way out? How should we approach life? If we don't want to plan dot to dot how things should go, how should we approach life then? I mean, we're not saying that you should just live life carelessly anyhow you want, not having planned goal or ambition. You and I know that has a purposeless life, and there is no quicker way to go into atrophy and die away than to live life in that way. But what we're trying to bring out here is that you live life not in a way of trying to control everything, but with an open mind to the unknown, yet not afraid of the unknown. Because the Bible tells us in the book of Hebrews that faith is the assurance in things hoped for, is the hope in things unseen, an assurance in things that you have not yet seen. So that you believe something is going to happen. You don't know for a fact because you've not seen it, but you have an assurance that it's going to happen. That is faith. So the eternal way of living is living through faith. Now, it doesn't mean that everything is going to go smooth when you live through faith. It doesn't mean that you won't go through suffering. It doesn't mean that you won't go through lack. It doesn't mean that you won't go through rejection. It doesn't mean that you won't go through some kinds of failures and downtime. But what it simply means is that even when all of these things are happening, you have it registered in your mind that this is not the end. You take your eyes from the current situation to the bigger picture that you are on earth for a period of time. The very thing that always get us stuck with control paralysis is because we think this earth is all there is. If I'm not this, if I'm not that, then I'm a failure, whatever. If I'm not this, if I don't have that, then I amount to nothing. Who told you that? I'm sure the people who conquered the world and now in their grave would not agree with you on that. Because I had a dialogue with myself one time. And I said, now this time of my life, I was in one of my lowest points. I asked myself, I said, what is the point of life? Every time we seek happiness, everything man has ever done in his lifetime is to find a state of permanent happiness, fulfillment, joy, and connectedness. We buy that new TV, that new house, that new whatever, because we wanted to go back to that state of joy. We want to feel good, feel happy, feeling like we belong, we are among, we are somebody, we are tangible. But then you notice something consistent in all these attempts that we try. We went from the stone ages of hunting, being hunter-gatherers, hunting for our foods and protecting ourselves against predators, to living now in mansions. And yet, we got more depressed. Somehow, it didn't make us much more happy. There's so much more wealth in the world than there have ever been in the whole of human history today. And you would think it will become much more happier because isn't that what society tell you? Just make more money and you'll become more happy. Just build more acclamations, just get more higher positions, just, acquire, you become more happy. But where has everything led to? Nothing. You get more and more sad and depressed. Yes, those things might thrill you for a little bit, but that's it. After that thrill is over, you're back to that state of emptiness, of feeling like something is missing. So then I ask myself, what really then fills the soul of man? If none of this ever brings lasting peace, lasting joy, lasting happiness, it's always temporary. Why even fight and work out for all of this stuff? But then a still voice whispered to me, which I believe was the voice of the Lord. He said, that's the point. You will never be able to find 100% happiness 24/7 on this earth. You will just never. No matter what you do, you will just never. Nothing material of earth substance will ever be able to bring you 100% satisfaction and joy and peace. Nothing. Because you were not made out of pure material. You are a mixture of spirit being and material body. And so for you to really, really live in joy and happiness, you have to get your perspective beyond just the surface level of the earth. You have to think something eternal. To know that you are on earth temporarily for a period of time, and that someday when your time comes, you would leave the earth and be assembled with your ancestors. And you will go on the last day, according to the Bible, be raptured, whether to heaven or to hell, for eternity. Until the second earth, the second world gets started again. And I asked, how can this be? And the voice told me, he said, well, the fact that to prove this is true is the fact that humans die. If humans never die, then there is no such thing as life after death or some eternal place that we all go to. But the fact that humans die is a proof that the earth is temporary. So how can you be searching for something permanent in a temporary world? It's just not possible. You're not gonna get it. You won't find it because the earth in which you live itself is temporary. The body in which you live itself is temporary. Because when you die, your body remains on the ground, your spirit ascends. The only thing that is permanent and eternal is your spirit. Your body is temporary. If you go back to the grave, you'll find the bones of your ancestors. Where is the flesh? It has decayed and become part of the sand again. So how could you possibly be finding for permanent joy, fulfillment, happiness, whatever, in a temporary body on a temporary planet? You will never find it because it cannot give it to you. The only thing that can give you that permanent joy and happiness is God. And you can, yes, find it on earth through the eternal perspective, understanding that you are not here on earth to live permanently. And everything that you experience here on earth is temporary. It's tertiary. It's only for a period of time. And it's all going to go. And you're going to be going back to where you belong eternally. And this body you bring, your sin is going to be left behind. So rather than living for this body, why not live for the spirit that get to live permanently after the body is long gone decayed? Now, this is not a call to being sober. This is a call to a higher level of understanding and enlightenment of the world and life around you so that you stop chasing unnecessary things. So instead of comparing yourself with society metrics, instead of putting yourself under pressure, being under a state. In fact, I asked myself in many times when I wasn't happy or not feeling good, I asked myself, why am I not really happy? And after deep, deep dialogue, I realized, is it that because I wanted to do something and I've not yet been able to achieve it? Or maybe somehow I built this metric in my head that, oh, I should have achieved this by now, and I've not achieved it. Somehow that makes me unhappy. I realized that everything, 99% of the time that makes me unhappy was because I'm worrying about something that I don't yet have, or something not going the way I wanted it to go. I noticed that I was worrying about not achieving something at a particular time that I want, or I was afraid that something might turn out a certain way that I don't want it to turn out to. But then the moment I take my eyes away from those things and finally realize that, well, what is going to be is going to be. Why not live right now in the present? What can I control right now? This is it before me. That is the only assurance I have right now. So why not do my best right now? If I'm worried about reading, why not read right now? Why not do what I can do right now? And let tomorrow worry about itself, as the Bible says. After all, I don't even know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow. It's out of my control. And the moment I take my mind away from thinking about all that things, and rather be present, and even if the present situation might not look good, but be present in an eternal perspective, being grateful, not letting what I'm currently in facing me. Or even if it's the present situation that is making me unhappy, I gaze my mind onto the fact that this is not all of me. This is just a phase of my life. And I will overcome it. It will make me stronger. And I become happy again. That this doesn't define me. The failure doesn't define me. Whatever it is doesn't define me. This present circumstances doesn't define me. And if I'm worrying about the future, I remind myself I can't really control, but I can do my best now. That is the eternal perspective. Understanding that this world is bigger than you because there is a God that controls everything. And so I don't chase the things of the world. I rather ask, God, what do you want me to do? What is your will for my life in this season? And I follow through. Will it be easy? No. A lot of the times it's hard, it's difficult. But I understand that I am serving a higher purpose. And that gives me joy. So whatever it is you may be going through, whatever it is that you're chasing out there, take your mind away from the world. Because that happiness, fulfillment, belonging that you are seeking, you would never find it fully. It's temporary. Your body is temporary. The earth is temporary. So why do you try to look for something permanent in a temporary world and a temporary body? Instead, focus your eyes on what is permanent, the eternal perspective, the spirit, God, His will, and His plan for your life. That will never pass away. Because even when you're long gone, the effect of that will still be on the earth. And even when you're done in your grave, the heavens will remember that you fulfilled your course and your part in God's grand scheme of creation. That is eternal. Not buying car that will rot away or all the earthly things that we chase for fulfillment. I just thought to share this with you, Proverbial Mind audience, because of the way the world is going right now. And this is some of the dialogues I've had with myself that the Lord had guided my heart through and has shared with me. And I saw that it helped me so much to find peace, to find satisfaction, to live a joyful life. Do I still feel down and moody and emotional sometimes? Yes, I'm a human being with hormones. That is natural. But does it keep me stuck 100% always? No, because I know that whatever it is, it's not permanent anyway. I stress myself over it. I will try my best. I will make my plan and according to the will of God and His direction. But I also know that it might not come to pass in the way I expect it, but the particular goal will come to pass, but not in the way I expect it or the way I plan. God will run the course. Life will run its course. but be open to adjust. The goal will not change. The purpose won't change, but the route might change a lot of times. Be flexible. You're not a failure because the route changed. Everything you go through is to build you and make you strong. David was anointed as king as a young boy, but look at the route he went through to get to the throne. He could have failed or quitted or considered himself unworthy, whatever, or be so much anguish to the pain and everything was going through. But everything was to bring the glory he would receive, to make him a chosen king, loved by the people, because God took him through a process that proved him worthy by his own power. No matter what you might be going through, God might be preparing you for something great out there. Don't abort it because you are not happy. Don't abort it because it's hard. Don't abort it because maybe your friends, family, whatever, are calling you all kinds of names or you feel behind. You didn't come to earth with anybody. You came on your own. And so you will go back on your own. You are running your own time. Right? Life is a race. Is a marathon, not a sprint. You're not here to compete with anybody. You're here to fulfill your purpose. And your purpose is not the same with mine. So don't compare yourself with anybody. Just be right with yourself and with God and follow and go at your own pace. And put all your hope in God. And He will surely help you. I hope this bless you and help you. And on to the next one, guys. Stay blessed. Follow us on Instagram at Proverbial Minds. Like this video if you love it. Leave your comment and give us a recommendation of what you want us to bring forward to you next. And also follow the channel, like the channel, and subscribe. And on to the next one. Peace out.